everyone, my name is Sandra. Welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be an interesting video. It's one that I've done every year since I started my channel basically, and it's just going to be a tour of my garden, which I will call my garden vlog. Not a whole bunch has changed, but we're going to walk you through all the flowers that I have in my yard, and not really anything about the house has changed though. So let's get to it. I'm going to turn you guys around and we'll see the garden. Okay, so we're going to start over here on this side of the yard. This is our back gate and our Ucky garage. So unfortunately, because the heat has been so intense and we haven't had any rain at all, we've only had 2 thunderstorms and only lightning, no rain. So some of my plants have died out, and this one, I think it actually got overwatered because it was so dry, so I thought the plants needed extra water, and then they all died on me. This one's doing the best so far, and this is like my prettiest basket. I love these, and all of these are pansies, by the way. And if you guys didn't know, if you get any of these seeds on your grass or garden area, they actually are perennial, so they will come back. I used to buy them thinking they were just annuals, but they do come back every summer. So those are my 3 pots there. I did decide to put them in the more decorative pots because I had these pots in my garage from my mom. She had lent them to me, so I figured I would use them. And then swinging over here, this isn't really part of my flowers, but my kids, Opa, had actually built this birdhouse last summer. It was a project when my son slept over with Opa and Nana. And then my husband built this to attach it to the fence. And then my mom decided to add these like little decorative birds to the little table here. These are just solar lights, so you can see them at nighttime. And then she also brought me this bird seed, but we have bird seed in here as well for the birds. So I figured it would be a nice addition because I also have a bird bath over here. So you can basically see, sorry, this is like a tangent. The grass is so dry, so it's mostly brown because at one point Edmonton was even under like a water shortage, so we couldn't use water for anything extra other than inside use. But this is my little bird bath, and I got this a long time ago from where I worked at Sobeys. It was actually free. It was a giveaway, and so I took it, and at the time I didn't have a place to use it. But then when I got a house, obviously I had more space. And then my mom just got this like cute little lily pad from the dollar store, but I thought it was kind of cute. And like I think it was last fall, we actually did find a frog underneath our step. It was in one of my flower pots. So I think we have a frog living here. Over here, this area is starting to die. Again, I think it's just from the heat. I do water it, but the soil has changed too. Usually every year I add more soil to the areas of my garden and then we rototill. But this, and I do fertilize all the time too, but unfortunately this area just isn't doing it well. The soil over here, it's interesting because the soil all over my garden is completely different. This is a lot of mostly clay mixed with a little bit of sand. There's some sand here and here, but then right here it's all clay, so it's really interesting. And my plants don't grow here that well, although when I had hibiscus one year they did grow really well. So this plant, this one that's dying behind the bird thing, that one, and then this one were all dahlias. So that was a beautiful red one. I think it's still alive. You can see from the foliage it's growing pretty, but the flowers are all dead right now, and I haven't had time to clip off the dead buds, but I do need to do that. The one behind is completely dead, as you can see. This was a calla lily, and so was this one here, and that one died out completely. And then these were like some kind of, I can't remember the name of them, but they kind of look like a daisy, but some kind of family of daisy. These were extra pansies that I had, but unfortunately the only one that survived was this one here, and the rest died. Again, it either got overwatered because it's in a pot. These are my petunias. So this one was kind of like an overflow basket. I have pink and purple flowers in here, and I have another variation in there as well. I've got, I think there's like light purple, so it's like these ones here, but you can't really see. But they're similar, I guess similar to this one right here. And then my main baskets of petunias are these ones, and these are doing really, really well. So again, we had like this heat wave where our temperatures got up to about 45 degrees Celsius. So all of the plants just died. So yeah, so these are absolutely beautiful. And I've got just these two. So this is a purple basket. Again, I've got dark purple, light purple, and then these ones are more, I think they're the same ones as these, but these ones turned out to be a little bit more pink. But this is supposed to be my purple one. And this is my pink one. And again, I've only got two colors in here. This pink, and then I've got these like darker fuchsia ones here. So I think those are really pretty. And then hanging on my garage, I've got two more baskets of petunias. So these ones are just ones I bought, like they were already in the basket. I got them from Walmart. So they've got pink, red, and purple flowers. And I've never got these variation color before, but I think that they're kind of a nice change. Usually I put like just pink or just purple up there, but I'm really happy that I got these because they're really bright and colorful. Okay, so this is our table. We have all of these chairs, but so for Mother's Day, I got this lounge chair. This is the one where I used to tan the back of my legs, my back. I think it was $60 from Walmart, but I got that for Mother's Day, so I'm gonna use it like every day I'm outside. Coming over to the good fenced area, I've got my fuchsias. So right before the heat wave, they were doing so good. They had gorgeous flowers. There was like flowers all over the plant. And then the heat wave struck and all of the flowers died. They were just baby buds and I felt so bad, but we're gonna work our way back up there because I just fertilize them once a week. And it looks like, and I'm filming this today on Friday, so I will be fertilizing them again on Sunday. That's usually my fertilizing day. And then the one thing to do with fuchsias is, and this doesn't prevent the flowers from growing, so they will still grow even if you don't do this, but it's called deadheading. It's the same thing with any of the other flowers. You just take the dead flowers and pluck it from the stem. Some people don't know which part to pluck. On a fuchsia, it's this part here. So not to be confused with an actual new bud. I'm trying to see if I have any new buds on this plant. I don't think I do because it's like, so like it just, everything died at once, but all of these, I can't believe these are all dead, but it kind of looks like this is like obviously a larger one here, a larger bud, but don't pluck those. Oh, here's one. So this is a new, oops, a new bloom right there. So not to get those confused with these ones. These are the ones that you are aiming to pluck here. So there's the other plant on the garage. Back here, it's a huge mess. We have a tree growing back there. And I did make the mistake of, this is a raspberry bush right here. So it was here last year and the year before, if you guys remember my previous garden vlogs. So we did rip it up last fall, and then I have to, because like raspberry bushes, the roots grow really deep, you have to like pluck up the whole thing and then like put cardboard down in order for the plants to not grow up. But we never did that, so I'm just like trying to pluck them out as they grow. So here's one that I didn't get the other day, and then we'll just like clean all of that up in fall. This is our old Christmas tree. We actually have 2 or 3 back here. We were going to burn them for fire, and then we just didn't, but we will hopefully have more fires. If you guys have watched my videos, you might have heard me talk about my husband being out of town for work. So he's gone for 2 weeks at a time, so I don't really have a fires here by myself. I'd probably wait for him to come home. So that's why they're still there. This is just a little decoration thing we got from the dollar store. This is my mint. I believe it's Mojito Mint. I did plant other seeds, but they didn't grow. So this is the one I got from Canadian Tire. And then I did have some wild mint growing here. Technically, it's not wild. It is from what I planted last year because mint usually grows back. But we did rototill over top of it just to clear out all of the raspberry bushes, or attempt to. So thankfully that little one's growing back. These are my poor marigolds. The trick with marigolds is that they look beautiful, but they stink to high heaven. So they are not the most wonderful smelling flower. The reason why I plant them near my vegetables is that they do keep the bugs away. And ideally, I would plant a row between each of the vegetables. But because I was trying to maximize space, these are sweet peppers, by the way, I couldn't plant them in between the peppers. But I do have them growing over here, and you can just see how beautiful they are. Like, they are so bright and vivid. And again, before the heat wave, my flowers were looking just beautiful. So these ones over here, I just have to deadhead them and pretty much pluck off the flower, and they will grow back after a few fertilizers. I do have to throw this out. So these were all of the really small, crappy peppers that I had grown. I did grow them in here. And out of all of these ones that are like huge and really beautiful, that's all of the ones that were missing. So you can see quite a few didn't make it. But that's what you're supposed to do, is just pick, you usually put 2 or 3 seeds per one of these little pods, and then you just like pick the one that's the biggest, which means it's the strongest plant, and then you cut back the other one that isn't doing as good, and you plant the best one. So these have really sprouted up, I'd say in the last like 3 weeks, which I'm surprised because again, it's been brutally hot here. Usually our summers range about 25 degrees, like our summers average about 25 degrees. So it can go anywhere from like 10 degrees Celsius up to maybe 32. But this summer has been record-breaking temps pretty much all across the country, and I'm sure in the States as well. So that's it for this little area. The soil here is a lot better because we pretty much made this area from scratch. This used to be all grass, so we rototilled it for a few years until it got to be this nice consistency. We did have to take out all the clumps of grass and the weeds and all that, but over a few years it turned really, really good. The only problem that I have consistently every season is the chickweed. So I think this comes from the soil, the topsoil that I used to plant my flowers. And even though the roots don't go very deep, it is the most persistent plant. It sucks because, you know, you can rip it out, and it's, if you use one of your garden tools, it comes out pretty easy, but it just grows back almost as fast as you rip it out. So it's really persistent. But I need to just clear out the areas around my plants, because once these guys get a bit taller, they will eventually block out the sunlight from the crappy chickweed, and all I have to really do is maintain the area around the plant. So this is my first time growing these. I don't know what happened to this one, and I don't know why it's like coming out of the soil, because when I planted it, it was actually deep into the soil. But these are poppies. It doesn't look like they're growing back. That one does look like it's dying, but they actually have been spreading really pretty flowers. I think one of them is orange and the other 2 are red, but I've never had poppies before. Apparently those come back every year as well, as long as you don't rip them up. This is my herb container. I really wanted to get rosemary, and I realized at the last minute I didn't get any. This is my thyme. I love thyme. This is sage, and then this is supposed to be chives. I planted a whole bunch and only a few of them grew. So I might see if I can get more seeds somewhere, because I mean, honestly, you can do herbs any time of the year as long as you have a little herb growing kit. So I might do that. I'm just going to go back to my petunias here, and I just want to show you guys how to deadhead petunias if you're curious. So let's pick this dead flower. That one might be alive. Let's find a dead one. Okay, here we go. So here's the flower. You don't just pluck the flower, you actually pluck this entire green thing around it. And then to find one that has already grown. So here's one. You can't really tell because it seems smaller, but when you look at them, you'll know compared to a new bloom. So this one here, I don't know if you can see that. That's a new bloom, so you don't want to pluck that. It's the one that looks like, let's see if I can find a good one. I think I've got better ones than the purple one over here. Here we go. So they look like this, like they're empty inside, or sometimes they'll have, let's see if I pluck this. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see it. It's got this like little pokey center. That one's hard to tell too. Here we go. Here's a good one. This one. See how big that pokey center is? You can deadhead that because that's from an old flower. So that middle portion was like the base of the flower bud. That can be chucked out. All right. And yeah, I really do need to weed my garden, and I also need to deadhead my flowers. So over here, the weeds have really gotten control of this area. Usually I keep it better, but I decided not to plant any actual vegetables at this spot right here. I did start with my peas here, and you can even tell they're not even growing that well. When they get a little taller, what I do is I put these all the way around, and then the peas can basically climb up. But they're so tiny, and they're already getting flowers on them, which is kind of crazy. So I will have to get some of these and just kind of attach them myself, and then they will start getting up. But you can see the chickweed is just taking over the garden. And with peas, it's hard to pull out the weeds because the pea vines stick, and then you might accidentally rip out a vine. So it's best to kind of keep the area clear before they even start to grow. This is a bleeding heart. It's weird how I don't really have any flowers on here right now. I did have a couple. They've only grown like 2 times. I've had like three flowers at a time so far. Apparently this is also perennial, and it will come back if you don't rip up the soil around it. And this is my poor sunflower. I think I got too much water, and I feel so bad for it. But here's one little plant. I don't know if this is like a new one or a dead one, but yeah, it used to have like a whole bunch in there, and then they just died. So I really need to read up on how to look after sunflower plants. So these are peas, and then I've got the rest of this area was supposed to be carrots, and again, I don't know what happened. This is the area that's really sandy, so we do have like you can't see it right now, but there is an ant nest in here, and the area is just really sandy. So there's one solitary plant right here, and then you keep going and going, and then I have like a few here. So this is literally it, and then down here I've got a couple more, and then at the very end there's a single little one growing right there. So again, I don't know what happened, but you can see like the sand, how it's like kind of like a clay mix with sand here, but mostly sand. It's very sandy, and it's interesting because I do add soil every year, but this year, pretty sure last year I didn't either, so that could be why. So the best thing to do is actually to let your garden just sit for a year and rototill it multiple times throughout the summer, so that the area will just become, and if you add some nice soil to it, I think that's what we're going to do for next year. I won't be planting anything here. We'll add a whole bunch of soil and just keep rototilling, and then hopefully I won't have this weed problem. So again, I've got my fuchsia here. This is our little playhouse that we got from friends, ex-neighbors that we had. And yeah, so this one's not doing too bad. It doesn't have any mites. I've been really good, actually. These ones I got from, I think it was Lowe's that I bought these ones from, and over the past like 5 years since me buying fuchsias, I've had really good luck. I used to buy from a place called the Salisbury Greenhouse in Sherwood Park, and every single year I would get spider mites on my plants. And once you get them, you can combat them, but once you get them, they're really difficult to get rid of. So, and they do spread from plant to plant if you're not careful. So yeah, so that is it for my garden vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Even though the weather has been a little bit hot and the plants haven't been growing as well as I'd like, I really am hoping that these peppers do better. I think I had some last year and they did not grow to fruition. We never got any fruit out of them, which was kind of sad because I put a lot of work into them. But this year I think they're growing really well. Like, it's mid-July already and I've still got another 45 days or so in order to get some beautiful peppers out of here. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, I would love if you would consider subscribing. And last but not least, click that bell button to be notified every time I upload a new video. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!